This is a pretty spot here in Middletown, Rhode Island, Jeff.
Yeah, it is. And we just parked our car at Setchuist Beach, right off of Hanging Rock Road. And now we're heading toward the woods just up ahead.
All right, there's a nice grassy area with some benches that overlook the ocean. Oh, and then it turns into a bike path that runs along Tuckerman Avenue.
And there's another little parking area right up here on our left.
Why didn't we park here then?
I don't really have a good answer for that. But, it's a nice day for a walk by the ocean either way. So we're going to cut through the back of this little parking area and take the trail into the woods.
We're heading towards the ocean again. There's a bunch of trees, and I can see it turns to rocks up ahead. Now, what are we looking for?
We're heading toward the water, Ray, to a place where the devil once landed, and where a woman had her heart broken at a frightening landmark called Lover's Leap. Hello, I'm Jeff Belanger.
And I'm Ray Auger. Welcome to episode 263 of the New England Legends podcast. We're on a mission to chronicle every legend in New England one story at a time, and we're glad you're with us.
We are. We're a community of legend seekers who are always looking out for new strange stories, and we appreciate when you get involved. Feel free to reach out to us anytime through our website, where you can find an archive of all of our past episodes, video clips from the New England Legends television series that you can watch on Amazon Prime right now, dates and places to see me or Ray live, and you can also find a link to get my brand new 2023 Haunted New England calendar with stories by yours truly and photography by the great Frank Grace. They're limited edition, like last year. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Now, before we go looking for Lover's Leap here in Middletown, Rhode Island, we want to take just a minute to tell you about our sponsor, Nuati Herbals.
Well, since we're exploring the story of lovers this week, we thought we should remind you about a Nuati Herbals tea called Share My Blanket.
This unique tea from Nuati Herbals is for everybody with a sweetheart. It's got all natural ingredients like green tea leaf, maca root, ginkgo leaf, horny goatweed, cinnamon bark chips, licorice root, and more.
You just couldn't resist mentioning the horny goatweed, could you?
No, I'm reading it right off the jar. It says it right there.
These are ingredients made to get your blood and circulation flowing. You serve it warm, share a cup with your special someone, and if nothing else, Ray, it's a conversation starter. Like, hey, what kind of tea are you serving me? Your special someone may ask. Well, it's called Share My Blanket from Nuati Herbals, you may say. Well, why is it called that? Your sweetheart may ask. And you take it from there.
Nuati Herbals has so many great teas, balms, oils, and more. Their products have become a part of our lives for sure.
Let Nuati Herbals help support your healthy lifestyle. Check out the Nuati Herbals website to see all of their great products, and you get 20% off your order when you use the promo code LEGENDS20 at checkout. Visit NuatiHerbals.com. That's Nuwati Herbals with an S.com.
So, Jeff, this isn't the only Purgatory Chasm in New England.
No, it's not. There's the Purgatory Chasm in Sutton, Massachusetts, too.
I've been to the one in Sutton with my kids.
Sure.
And they say the devil was there, too.
That's right. That's right.
There's a few signs up on some of the rocks at the one in Sutton. I remember one called the Devil's Corn Crib.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, old Scratch gets around, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Well, the devil was here, too, in Middletown. In fact, way back in episode 48 of the podcast, this is where the story ended after the devil left his footprints in North Kingstown, Rhode Island.
I sort of remember that. But in that episode, we stayed in the North Kingston side of the harbor.
We did. So this time we're going to check out the Middletown side.
Now, we've walked about 30 yards into the woods since the parking lot, and the ground is starting to change from dirt to solid rock. And I can see up ahead that the trees continue to thin out.
We're approaching the stone bluffs and our destination, a place called Lover's Leap.
Whoa, check that out.
That's it, right? That's Lover's Leap.
There's this huge crack in the cliffs. At its widest, it looks like it's maybe 10 or 12 feet. The crack heads inland about 120 feet until it dwindles to nothing where the crack ends.
Right.
And it's about 40 to 50 feet down to the water below.
Yeah, right.
I have to believe that a fall there could easily be fatal. At the very least, you'd be broken up pretty badly.
Yeah, agreed. Now, our plan is to stay up here at the top, but to get to the bottom of the story.
I see what you did there.
Anyway, let's head back to 1848.
It's the summer of 1848, and there's a beautiful young heiress living in nearby Newport. Like all the wealthy single women living around here these days, she's a socialite. She attends all the parties to see and be seen.
Newport has had the reputation of being an exclusive playground for the rich for over a century now. I mean, the wealthy come here to summer. I mean, it's swanky for sure.
At one of these summer parties, this young heiress catches the eye of a gentleman about her age who also comes from a wealthy family and finds himself in Newport for the summer.
It's a tale as old as time, Ray. Boy meets girl. Soon the boy is smitten with an enchanting young heiress.
The thing is, the girl feels the same. I mean, she really likes this boy too, but she hides it from him.
Oh, playing hard to get, I take it?
She is. She'll flirt, then pretend she isn't interested in his advances. This goes on for most of the summer.
By late August, the heiress allows her suitor to take her to Middletown for a picnic. While strolling the beach, they spot a trail leading up to some of the stone bluffs overlooking the ocean. And thinking this must be a pretty spot, the two take a walk up the trail that leads to the cliffs.
On the walk, the young man once again professes his love for the girl. He explains how much he cares, how he could provide for her, and how they'd be happy together.
But the girl, coy as ever, still playing hard to get.
They stroll right up to this giant crack down through the cliffs. They both lean to peek over the side, all the way down to the swirling ocean below.
It's a pretty spot, but it's also dangerous.
The young man continues to explain how happy they could be together if she'd only consent to a proper engagement. But the heiress doesn't seem to be paying much attention to the young man. She's just gazing in wonder down at the chasm below.
Suddenly, the girl's face lights up. She tells her young suitor that he can prove his love to her by leaping across the divide to the other side.
The young man's shoulders slump. He sighs. And now he's backing up. Oh, man. It looks like he's going to try to make this jump.
Oh, okay, so he's backing up from the edge, maybe 20 feet or so. Okay, he's running for the edge. Oh, I don't know if I can watch this.
Oh, he made it. Look at that.
Look at that.
Wow, he did it. He just landed on the other side.
Oh, wait, but look at him, Ray.
He just tipped his hat, smiled, and he's walking away on the other side of the chasm. I guess he figures he doesn't need this headache after all.
The girl's smile is quickly fading. I think she just realized she's being dumped. She pushed the coy act too far.
And that brings us back to today.
They say the young heiress never recovered from the dumping. She mourned for the one who got away for the rest of her life. And today, they call this giant crack in the rocks Lover's Leap because of the young man who jumped across.
I feel like we've all been there once or twice, huh?
Yeah, I get it. Playing hard to get works for like 5 minutes.
Right.
I mean, it was time for games when it comes to love, right?
Exactly. Okay, the last time we talked about Purgatory Chasm in Middletown, Rhode Island, was way back in episode 48.
Right.
When the devil left his mark in North Kingston, Rhode Island.
Now, in North Kingston, there's an odd landmark called Devil's Foot Rock,
right,
located just off of Devil's Foot Road. And it bears a couple of strange holes in it. One looks almost like a cloven hoof print, like a horse that goes down maybe 6 inches or so into the rock. Then there's two others, almost human-like holes ahead of it that go toward the end of the rock.
Now, it was here that they say a native woman ran after killing a man in Wickford. She knew if she was caught, she'd be killed. As she was hiding by the rock in North Kingston, suddenly a dashing Englishman appeared walking right for her. Knowing she was out of time and luck, she yelled out for the only deity who could help her. She yelled, "Help me, Hobomako."
Now, Hobomako is a native deity who is a kind of creator god, and he could help you, but he could also kill you, depended on his mood.
The dashing Englishman suddenly transformed into Hobomako. He scooped up the maiden under her arm, thundered down the rock, leaving those footprints, and leaping high into the air. While airborne, he throws the maiden down to her death in the ocean below. Hobomako continues over the harbor, over Jamestown, over Newport, and lands 14 miles away here at Purgatory Chasm in Middletown. So, 2 legends for the price of 1 this week.
That's right.
The devil was here, and we have Lover's Leap.
To be fair, we don't know much about the backstory of these 2 young lovers who broke up here. We do know that people were calling the geological feature Lover's Leap as far back as the mid-1800s because there's an old photo of that place from Joshua A. Williams' photography rooms of Newport, Rhode Island. The photo isn't dated, but Williams identified the landmark as Purgatory or the Lover's Leap. Williams died in 1892 and was most active as a photographer in Newport between 1847 to 1885, which is why we set our date in 1848.
Now, we've heard other Lover's Leap stories where 2 star-crossed lovers leap to their death from some high spot because their families forbid them from being together.
Right. Romeo and Juliet playing out over and over again, all over the world, really.
Yeah, I like how this one's different, though.
Yeah.
In this spot in Middletown, Rhode Island, a lover took a dangerous leap across a chasm, not to prove his love, but to get away from what surely would have been a toxic relationship.
Kenny Rogers said it best. Know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
And that brings us to After the Legend, where we take a deeper dive into this week's story and sometimes veer off course a bit.
Sometimes. After the Legend is brought to you by our Patreon patrons. This group of insiders keep us going and growing. They enjoy our show and want to help us out a little bit more. And we appreciate it. For just $3 per month, they get early access to new episodes, plus bonus episodes and content that no one else gets to hear. If you can help us out with our hosting, production, marketing, and all the other costs associated with bringing you a new episode each and every week, just head over to patreon.com/New England Legends to sign up. So, Ray, you ever have a relationship like this?
Many.
You tried and tried?
Yeah, many. And then, at the end, it's like, well, I have the same feelings for you. You're like, I've been trying so hard. And now you're telling me this. And it's usually when you find someone else.
Right.
It's like, why aren't you chasing me anymore? I love you. I'm like, I just started dating someone else, you dummy.
Because I felt like if I chased you one more minute, well, now we're in stalker territory.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Can't do that now.
No, but like that's the thing, right? So at some point you're like, I'm starting to feel like a stalker. I've tried and I've tried. You've spurned my advances, but you still keep talking to me and haven't crystal clear said I'm not interested. So you keep trying, and then the second you give up, like you said, they're just like, oh wait, where'd you go?
They love the attention.
Yeah,
women,
gentlemen, run.
Yeah,
right, or whoever you're courting. I mean, whoever's courting who, right? Like
right.
If anyone treats you like that. They're playing games.
There
Run away.
shouldn't be a chase. There shouldn't have to be a chase.
It should be a coming together.
That's right.
I'm interested in you. So am I.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's see where it goes.
Let's discuss it. Let's work up the paperwork and sign some legal documents, and we
Right.
can move on here.
I mean, try to jump across this 10-foot chasm, and if you live, boy, I think we were destined to be together.
I love how he had to prove that he could do it just to get away from her. He could have walked around. He could have said, forget it. This is it. I'm done with this. But he said, look what I can do. I can do it, and I can walk away.
Yeah, and I've had enough. You just broke the camel's back right here. So I'm going to do it. Turn around, tip my hat, and have you out of my life. And I love that. So here's the other thing. There's a lover's leap at the Purgatory Chasm in Sutton, Massachusetts, as well. It's a big, tall cliff. It has no real folkloric story that goes with it. It's just you look at that cliff and you're like, yep, you leap off that.
Yeah.
You're dead, right? Because it's just rocks down below. And there's lovers leaps all over for the same reason. It's just like, oh, yeah, two star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet, their families forbid them to be together, so they leap to their death. I love that this one doesn't involve a fatality, right?
Right.
It's actually more
Just a
empowering.
heartbreak, that's all.
But it's more empowering.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? No more games. I'm jumping, and I've had enough. And like just people everywhere that have been, women have been in that position too. They chase a guy, and he's just sort of blowing them off, right? I mean, it's not one way. Or same sex. I'm sure same thing. There's people that play that game, right? Yeah. I'm going to just play coy to the end, and it's obnoxious,
right?
Whoever you out there that does that,
knock it off.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, you might lose something great, when someone's just like, I've had enough. I can't play this game anymore. So, but I love that this one didn't involve a fatality. It involved like this empowered, I feel like there's a country song in here somewhere.
It's a very funny story.
Yeah.
And I was nervous reading it for the first time, thinking, oh boy, this guy.
Yeah.
It's
not going to end well.
Yeah.
No, it ended great.
Pining after this woman.
He's free. Found someone appreciated him, and probably had a big happy life, family, grandkids, the whole thing is what I'm guessing.
And had a great story to tell.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's every time I have a movie idea, I'm giving this away if anyone wants it. Where someone like stalks another person and they keep stalking and it's really uncomfortable. And then finally they're like, oh, this isn't going to work. I just give up. And then the other person that was being stalked is like, oh, I kind of missed the attention. So they start stalking back, right? And the other one's like, whoa, I'm really uncomfortable. And finally they both get together and they get married. It's for the Hallmark Channel. I'm pitching this as a movie. I think it'll be terrible.
So there's a TV show called You. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
He started as a stalker.
Right.
But somehow, and I forget, he won her over.
Right.
And they ended up getting married, and she ended up being crazy. Something like that. So then I think she may have become more of the stalker than him, and he was trying to get away from her.
It's a very deeply psychological thriller, and there's an awful lot of murder.
There is,
if you recall. Yeah.
Blood and murder. I think it's on season 3 now.
It's one of the streaming.
The second one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Netflix or
But the funny thing is, I think it started as a Hallmark show or a Lifetime show. It was a Lifetime show, and then it ended up being streamed.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good story.
Really good.
And it took that turn that I didn't realize it would go there.
Yeah.
And then, hold on.
Okay.
I think Dexter. He may have been discovered at one point
right.
from his girlfriend. I don't know. The theme runs rampant through Hollywood.
It's played out before where someone just plays hard to get too long. And if you're interested, say you're interested.
That's right.
Right? Like, let's stop playing these games. Life's too short to play the games.
I think we can make a movie about Lover's Leap.
Yeah.
I mean, just the title alone.
Right.
Urban legend.
Yeah.
Lover's Leap. The Lady in White. That's another couple movies that have been made about that.
We could have we could be like the Hallmark guys.
The guys, yeah. The guy's perspective.
Remember that? Yeah, right. Yeah, remember that Hallmark movie where like the girl's in like a really bad relationship and she finally like breaks it off and the only thing that can save her is a guy in a good relationship? Remember that one?
Oh yeah. All of them?
All of them. Yeah. So okay, we have our start.
How about the one where the girl goes back home for Christmas in her small town and then falls? She comes back with her hotshot lawyer husband,
right,
or boyfriend that won't propose, and he's kind of a jerk. She falls in love with her high school sweetheart again, who's just this farm boy, real
simple
nice guy.
Life, yeah.
He works at the youth center.
Yep.
Yeah, remember that one?
I do. Yeah, that's the one that plays in December. Right.
It is funny how there's a theme to those.
Yeah, totally. There is a theme. But, themes exist because they come up in real life again and again.
Right.
I love this one. I love the empowerment of just like someone who finally said, that's it. That right there. I was all the way walking up to this crack. I was ready to stay with you. I was ready to kneel down and propose and, be with you forever. And you just pushed it that far.
And it was probably her last diss.
Right.
Her last attempt. And then she was going to that's it. I love you and I'm going to profess my love for you. I always have. But she just took it one step too far.
Right. And he's like, nope, this was it. We're done. The tank had one drop left in it and you used it.
Why didn't she go after him though? That's my question.
It's a story. We don't even have names on this or anything. No, but it's just this.
She gave up too easy.
And what I'm sure what's happened, okay, so here's how the crack works. And it's a really cool look. Well, just go to our website, by the way, to see pictures. You can see the old historic one, as well as like some more modern ones. Go to episode 263 to see photos. But it's deep and dangerous. And so the crack is widest out near the ocean, open ocean. And it gets smaller as it gets closer to the land, of course, which makes sense. It's a crack. So, you could be 120, 110 feet in and you're only jumping like a foot.
Right.
No big deal. But the further you go toward the ocean, it gets to be like a 4-foot jump and then a 6-foot jump. And then eventually, at the very end, it's pretty wide. Please don't do it. Right? We need every listener we have.
Yeah. And don't feel so jilted that you toss your,
no,
you just toss somebody over.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
It'd be
he could have done that.
Quite bad.
That could have been the alternative.
Oh, that's if we were writing for the Chiller channel or whatever, right? Like
Shudder.
Yeah, Shudder, one of the other ones. It's a cool story, and I, as with many we've covered, I love stories that have landmarks. So even this one, which you got a twofer this week, the Devil's Footprint in North Kingston. You can see those prints; they're there. They're these weird impressions in the rock, and you have to ask, well, how did they get there? And then you're right off of Devil's Foot Road. The story just floats in the air, and there it is.
I'm going to Newport this weekend. Maybe I'll try to find these spots.
Well, Middletown.
Are they close?
Newport, Middletown's really close to Newport, right? So
maybe I'll do that.
And you can see we've done many Newport stories, right? We've got the pirates, the hanging pirates.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah.
There's.
I'll have to go to the interactive map on our app.
That's right. Rhode Island Lighthouse, which was on the TV series. Fort Adams is haunted right there on the mainland of Newport. So Newport's got plenty of great haunts. If you're into that. And so, speaking of past episodes, please be sure to subscribe to our podcast because it's free, and share your favorite episodes on social media. If you enjoy spending some time with us each week, I think your friends will too. Be sure to join our super secret Facebook community. Just search for New England Legends and follow us on social media.
And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Nuwadi Herbals. We'd like to thank our Patreon patrons, and our theme music is by John Judd.
Until next time, remember,
the bazaar is closer than you think.